I couldn't resist doing a video on these phonies and frauds of the richest degree. Both look like they're wearing tons of makeup, photoshopped out the wazoo, and probably not even real, or not really what their image portrayal in reality or whatever is. It's who knows what these people and who these people really are. But they're rich and they attempted to disprove flat earthers and go to space and show a new way of ecotourism when actuality they just basically free fall. They went up and they went down and they free falled and they floated around for a couple minutes and that was about it. If they had entered space, the vacuum, they would have kept going, like they say. When you're in the vacuum, you just keep going. That's why the space station goes around continuously. It's why satellites continuously go around, right? It couldn't be anything just like this that they did and tried to pass it off as something substantial, something that proved the Earth is a sphere, something that, shut up flat earthers, and something that just showed these guys had giant ding-dongs that they could fly up into space with. Those aren't computer graphics there. They just look a lot like your video game. Look at that. Wow, we landed right on those four little prongs. Perfectly, everybody. Look how awesome we are. And then this guy, Virgin, I will actually give Branson a little bit more credit than I will give Bezos because it looked like he actually really did do this. It actually does look like he was The Simpsons, predicting it again. But it really did look like he was up there. You could see him. That part looked like, he went up. He experienced that. He went down. He didn't go into space. He didn't go into anything like that. But he at least did that. Bezos's, on the other hand, was a total. It looked like a computer game. No one was allowed to broadcast it. When he came out of there, it was like, who had any proof? It was just so easily manipulatable that it was not believable. And at least Branson, I give him a little more credit, although I don't really give either of them credit because they pissed away so much money and they brag about being the most sustainable people. Oh, you were so sustainable. And then they ride up on thousands of gallons of fuel just blasting off into all layers of the atmosphere, pretty much like all the way up to 50 plus miles. And they don't reach the area, they don't reach the mileage in order to get to the point where space supposedly occurs. They just happen to fly short of it. And, that was definitely their stated objective. They did not want to actually go into space or to go any further or to crash into the dome above or to do something, get zapped by the rays in the different fields that are out there that we don't know about and that keep us down here and that make everybody that has control of information join the club and really just say what they're told when it comes to space and the mystery of everything and all the amazingly glaring facts that prove every day that we are not on a spinning ball when no scientific thing can show any ball with water sticking to it all around. But you can show a cup, you can drink a cup of water and see a level earth, a level sea, an example of being level. And the amount of misinformation out there is just astounding on that stuff. But there was actually a documentary that Eric Dubay and some of the other flat earth dudes put out called Level. I recommend everybody check it out. 2021 documentary, really good. Nails it in a great way. Good culture, good young rising thinkers and creatives. And I recommend it. Level. Check it out. But either way, these guys, they tell us what to do. They do all this stuff. They get bailouts by the millions, the billions, and then they go up to space. They pretty much do they're trying to be the next form of bungee jumping. Is this the next form of skydiving? Pretty much the next thrill ride is all that they are seeking for. And if that was the goal, then congratulations. Rich people have found a new way to get a little bit of a thrill and feel better than other people who can't afford hundreds of $1,000s to fly up for about 20 minutes in a rocket that's probably going to blow up one of these times. I don't wish that upon anyone, but it's going to happen. Every time they do a new industry, you have to put a little fear in it once it starts going, and then or someone else has got to try and hurt the other company, etc., or they just got to keep us back in check. So let's see some other ideas where we could spend just as much money and actually come out with something informative and helpful to the people of Earth, because these guys didn't even try. You would have thought that if the world was a sphere like they all say, that they would have been racing to prove this as quickly as possible on a live stream on something. Who's going to be the first one to show it, although they're not supposedly the first, but would be the first one to show it. And they didn't even bother. They just jerked each other around and basically tickled each other and made each other feel great. Oh yay, we're the richest, we're cool, everyone else is below us and they'll never get to do this. Oh well, let's take some of that money, and if we, the intelligent people of the world, were to use even a fraction of the money that they pissed away on this, you could just get a nice plane, a nice 747 or even less, fill it with a bunch of fuel, get some other planes ready for refueling, and let's just go up to the North Pole. Why don't we take a live stream video, hours and hours, however long it is, and let's just keep going north. If we inevitably come across Russia again, Nova Zembla and stuff like that, then we'll stop the video. But if we don't and we come across something else, that might be worth knowing. Or the South Pole. Let's go down there and see if we can find that. Let's take Admiral Byrd's missions, which were very tough during his time because they were just a little more serious, and the technology and flight and everything was way more dangerous. I read his book called Discovery, and it was actually really amazing. I recommend it. Told a lot about the hardships of being in a cold climate like that. But nowadays, about 80, 90 years later, we should be able to just fly and keep on flying. Get a plane that doesn't ice up, get a plane that doesn't freeze. All these rockets, shoot a rocket over it. And let's land in the middle of Antarctica and then just have someone pick you up. And then videotape everything. Why don't they do any of these things, which would cost either just as much and actually provide the world with some info, instead of just a new marketing and money-making opportunity for these clowns that have enough money? Think, Jesus, these guys treat everyone like garbage, and their money is just Scrooge-style swimming in it in a vault somewhere, being useless, pathetic. So why don't we put it towards good things? It's time that the rich, someone out there, start doing something good and, prove to us that what the shape of the earth is. I'd love to know, because these bozos did not prove anything except that they are rich and out of touch. Any type of experiment that proves this place is way bigger than they tell us would be so worth it, because we can just immediately, everyone, all together, can just write off these douchebags who have been lying to us forever, and we can begin fresh and maybe dig back deeper into what really is occurring. And we can start to look, instead of just trusting in things like, oh, the sun is this because some guy in the 1800s said so. All this stuff, all this science that's so old, outdated, and corrupt. We need to get to the bottom of it in the future. The future generations cannot be as lazy with their knowledge as the past. We must seek out the ultimate truth, and I hope the rich people of the future are ready to do some crazy experiments and join forces with some great minds of our present time, because together we will be able to discover the truth. Bless you all.